Have you ever felt like you're stuck in a waiting room for your destiny, wondering when God's promises will unfold in your life? You see, when it comes to love and finding that special person, the waiting season can feel endless. But here's what you need to remember. God isn't making you wait to punish you. He's preparing you. Every moment of silence, every delay is designed to build you into the person you need to be for the one He's chosen for you. The truth is, sometimes God keeps two people apart until they're both ready for the blessing He has in store. This period is about refining your character, deepening your faith, and preparing your heart to love fully and selflessly. During this time, God is stripping away the fears, doubts, and insecurities that would sabotage your relationship. He's teaching you to rely on Him fully, so when that person does come into your life, you'll recognize them not as someone to complete you, but as someone to complement the journey God has already started within you. So, if you find yourself alone today, don't mistake that silence for rejection. Understand that God's timing is perfect and this waiting season has a purpose. Trust that He is working behind the scenes, orchestrating a love story greater than anything you could ever imagine. Hold on, keep your faith strong, and remember, delays are not denials. They are divine preparations. Before you can build a house, you need a strong foundation. The same goes for relationships. In this season of waiting, God is focusing on your foundation, your faith, your values, and your purpose. He's asking you to lay down the bricks of self-love, discipline, and spiritual maturity, because a relationship built on a shaky foundation will crumble at the first sign of trouble. This time alone isn't about loneliness, it's about construction. God is making sure that your identity is rooted in Him, not in someone else. He's removing the past wounds, the insecurities, and the lies you've believed about yourself. He's teaching you to love yourself the way He loves you, unconditionally. You see, when your confidence comes from God, it's unshakable. No amount of rejection or delay can steal it from you. And when you finally meet that person, you won't be looking for them to fill a void. You'll be able to love them freely, without chains of neediness or fear. God is saying, let me build you first. He's aligning your values with His, so your relationship will have a purpose beyond just companionship. So keep building, keep trusting, and remember, great things take time. The stronger the foundation, the higher the building can rise. And when the storms of life come, and they will, your relationship will stand firm, anchored in the unshakable foundation God has helped you build. Before God can bring you to the right person, He needs to free you from the chains of your past. Sometimes we don't realize how much old wounds shape our perceptions of love and trust. Unresolved pain acts like a filter, making us see new blessings through the lens of old hurt. That's why God is using this season to heal what's been broken, your heart, your trust, your self-worth. He's not asking you to forget what happened, but to let Him transform your pain into wisdom. Every tear, every disappointment was not in vain. They were lessons designed to prepare you for what's to come. God is teaching you that love is not pain and trust is not foolishness. He's showing you that the right person won't need to be chased or convinced. They'll choose you freely, just as He chose you. Forgiveness is a part of this healing. Not just forgiving those who hurt you, but forgiving yourself for the mistakes you made while trying to survive. This process isn't easy, and some days it might feel like you're taking 2 steps back for every step forward. But trust that every bit of healing is bringing you closer to the person God has for you. When your heart is healed, you won't see love as a risk, but as a gift. So let God do His work. Trust Him with the pieces of your heart, because only He can rebuild them stronger than before. Faith isn't just believing in what God can do, it's trusting in His timing and His way. In this season of waiting, God is building your faith. Not just faith in Him, but faith in His promises for your life. You see, faith that isn't tested can't be trusted. That's why sometimes God remains silent, not to punish you, but to teach you to walk by faith, not by sight. He wants you to believe in His plan, even when you can't see it unfold. It's easy to trust when everything is going well, but real faith is forged in the fire of uncertainty, and delay. This is where God teaches you that even if He seems quiet, He's never absent. He's working behind the scenes, aligning every detail, every encounter, every step to bring you to the person He's chosen for you. The enemy will try to use this waiting period to fill your mind with doubts, telling you that God has forgotten you, that maybe you're asking for too much. But God is saying, hold on, don't let go. I haven't brought you this far to abandon you now. Strengthening your faith is about trusting that God's plan is better than your impatience. It's about choosing to believe that His delays are strategic, not accidental. So keep praying, keep believing, and keep walking forward. Faith doesn't make things easy, but it makes them possible. And when the time is right, what God has prepared will be worth every second of the wait. Preparation is proof of faith. When God promises something, He also prepares you for it. In this season, He's asking you to prepare, not just for the person you're meant to be with, but for the life you're meant to live. Preparation is not passive, it's active faith. It's showing God that you believe His promise enough to get ready for it before it arrives. Think of it like this. When you're expecting guests, you clean the house, set the table, and make everything ready. In the same way, God is saying, prepare your heart, your mind, and your spirit for what I'm about to do. This means building the habits, the character, and the lifestyle that will sustain a God-centered relationship. It's about learning to communicate with love, to forgive quickly, and to stand firm in your faith, even when it's tested. God doesn't want you to just attract the right person. He wants you to be the right person. He's giving you the time to discover your passions, to pursue your purpose, and to build a life that doesn't depend on someone else for happiness. The stronger you become on your own, the stronger your relationship will be. Preparation is also a form of gratitude, showing God that you appreciate the gift He's preparing by getting ready to receive it. So, don't despise this season. Every prayer, every step forward is a part of the preparation process. When God's timing meets your preparation, that's when miracles happen. Timing is everything. In the world that glorifies speed and instant results, it's hard to trust in God's timing. But here's the truth. The right person at the wrong time is still the wrong person. God's delays are not His denials. They are His way of protecting you from stepping into something prematurely. He's orchestrating events, aligning paths, and preparing both you and the one He has chosen for you. Imagine if a beautiful symphony was rushed. Notes would clash and the melody would be lost. In the same way, your love story requires perfect timing for everything to fall into place harmoniously. God sees the end from the beginning. He knows what needs to happen and when. Trusting His timing means believing that His wisdom is greater than your impatience. It means understanding that what seems like a delay is actually a divine pause, an opportunity to grow, to heal, and to strengthen your relationship with Him. Often we think we're ready for the blessing, but God, in His love, withholds it until we are truly prepared to handle it. So, instead of rushing, learn to rest in His timing. Surrender your timeline, your deadlines, and your need to control the process. God is never late. He's always on time. Every second you wait in faith is an investment in a future that is worth every moment of uncertainty. Trust that when the time is right, God will make it happen. Beautifully. The path to finding the right person is rarely a straight line. There are detours, delays, and dead ends that make you question if you're even on the right road. But what if the journey itself is just as important as the destination? God isn't just interested in getting you to the promise. He's interested in who you become along the way. Every closed door, every heartbreak, and every lesson is shaping you, refining your character and building your resilience. Sometimes we get so focused on the end goal that we miss the blessings along the way. The friendships, the self-discoveries, the moments of growth. God is saying, don't rush past what I'm teaching you now, because these lessons are what will sustain your relationship when it comes. Embracing the journey means choosing to trust even when the road is dark, to keep walking even when it's lonely, and to find joy in the process, not just in the outcome. It's about surrendering the how and when to God, trusting that He knows the way better than you ever could. Remember, Joseph went from a pit to a palace, but it was the journey that prepared him to lead with wisdom and grace. In the same way, every step you take now is part of the greater story God is writing for you. Embrace this season as a gift, knowing that God's plans for you are good, even when they're not yet revealed. In a world that says follow your heart, God says guard your heart. This isn't about building walls or shutting people out. It's about protecting the wellspring of your soul from things that drain your faith and distort your vision of love. Your heart is precious, and what you allow into it will shape not only how you love others, but also how you see yourself and your future. God is using this season to teach you the difference between what feels right and what is right. Guarding your heart means being cautious about who you allow into your inner circle, what voices you listen to, and what influences you embrace. It's about refusing to settle for temporary comfort when God has promised you a lasting love. This doesn't mean you won't feel lonely or impatient at times. That's part of the journey. But guarding your heart is about choosing trust over desperation, purity over compromise, and patience over rushing God's timing. It's understanding that not every opportunity is a blessing, and that some doors close for your protection, not your punishment. The enemy wants to fill your heart with doubts and distractions, but God wants to fill it with faith and purpose. So choose to fill your heart with His promises, His truth, and His peace. When you guard your heart, you're not just protecting yourself, you're preserving the space for the love God has prepared for you. Remember, a guarded heart is a guided heart, led by God's wisdom, not the world's whims. One of the greatest lies the world tells us is that we need someone else to complete us. But God is saying you are already complete in me. Before He brings you to that person, He wants you to discover the fullness of your identity in Him, your worth, your purpose, your calling. Being whole doesn't mean you're perfect. It means you're secure in who God made you to be, with or without a partner. When you embrace this truth, you won't settle for less than God's best out of fear of being alone. You'll understand that a relationship isn't meant to fill your emptiness, but to enhance the life you've already built with God. Wholeness is about learning to enjoy your own company, to pursue your passions boldly, and to live a life that reflects God's love, even in singleness. It's about breaking the chains of neediness and stepping into a season of purpose-driven living. This is why God is taking His time, because He's more interested in your completeness than your comfort. When you are whole, and you don't look to a partner to validate your worth or to heal your wounds, that's God's job. Instead, you'll be ready to give love freely, without insecurity or fear. So keep building, keep growing, and keep becoming the person God created you to be. When two whole people come together, their love isn't a lifeline, it's a lighthouse shining God's glory to the world. There's a moment when preparation meets purpose, and all the waiting suddenly makes sense. God is faithful to fulfill His promises, and when that day comes, it won't just feel right, it will be right. The person God has for you won't just fit into your life, they'll align with your purpose, your values, and your faith. It will be a partnership that uplifts, encourages, and glorifies God above all. You'll realize that every closed door, every tear, and every lonely night was worth it, because it led you to the person God had been preparing for you all along. The love you will experience won't be a fairy tale, it will be a testimony of God's faithfulness. It will reflect His love, patient, kind, sacrificial, and enduring. And when you look back, you'll see how God's fingerprints were on every step of your journey. The waiting wasn't a waste. It was a weaving, threading your story with lessons, strength, and faith that can withstand any storm. God's promise is clear. What He has started, He will finish. So keep your eyes fixed on Him, not on your timeline. Rest in His promises, walk in His peace, and trust that His timing is perfect. When God writes your love story, it's not just for your happiness, but for His glory. So get ready. The promise is on its way, and when it arrives, it will be greater than anything you ever imagined.